I think he's, really a generational athlete is the best way I can describe him. I don't think you're going to see another guy like this guy. I think, one, to still have the passion to come to the rink and work every day and keep yourself in the type of shape you have to be in. He dedicates 24 hours of his day to hockey. Most guys in their 40s have a wife and kids, and, when they've played 20 years, are starting to look at the second stages of their life. And he still has a burning desire that I can't explain, and, that's what feeds him and allows him to play at the level he plays at.
Every time the Devils go to a new city, Pete DeBoer gets asked about Jaromir Jagr, and he never seems to run out of compliments, guys.
Thank you, Deb. Well, the NHL record for games played by a goaltender in one season, 79 that Grant Fuhr played for St. Louis in 1995-96. Corey Schneider is not likely to approach that, but with the season roughly a quarter complete, he's played them all for New Jersey so far. At the opposite end of the ice, from Sweden, Victor Fast gets the assignment this evening. And for Fast, second year after the trade from the Ducks, he takes a 3.36 goals against average into the game tonight. That's the third highest among all goalies who've played this season. Underway tonight at Rexall Place with an icing call 5 seconds into the hockey game.
Steve, needless to say, we have two desperate hockey clubs, and that usually makes for a pretty entertaining game. Something has to give here. Both teams in desperate needs of a victory.
It's an offside on the Devils, Kenny. My mistake to get started. Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Centering try by Dinah Subras, who's on once again with Steven Giunta and Steve Bernier for the Devils. Picked up at center ice by the Edmonton Oilers and controlled here. Opening moments, first of two meetings between the teams this season. The Oilers visit Prudential Center on February 9th. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins sends this into the Devils zone. Mike Camilleri steps on with Travis Zajac and Jaromir Jagr for the first time. Benoit Pouliot on the puck, and that shot from the circle is blocked away early. Kept alive, that puck got over the stick of the ex-Devil Mark Fane. And controlled here by the Oilers. Nikita Nikitin works it across, and now Fane pushes ahead. Back at his own end, Andy Green. Nugent-Hopkins quickly on him. The Oilers come in losers of 4 straight games. Last place, 7th in the Pacific Division coming into tonight, hoping to spark a turnaround against New Jersey. Taylor Hall on the move here, and he works this ahead. Puck dumped in. Third overall pick in the draft this year, Leon Draisaitl. At the age of 19. Penalty coming up.
Devils going on the power play. You see a hook in the Devils' end by Teddy Purcell, and good opportunity early on for the Devils. The Oilers, the first minute and a half here, there you see on Andy Green. Turns and look innocent enough. Purcell's trying to plead his case, but he'll go to the box, and the Devils desperately need to get their power play going as well and get off to a good start, take the lead.
2 for its last 23, Kenny. And worked here to the stick of Adam Henrique. Second game back from injury and played down low. Devils power play. Clicking 1 for 2 in the previous game. The goal by Elias played down low. That's deflected into the corner, and Henrique is on here. Personnel for the Devils, Severson and Jelena at the point. Camilleri, Zajac, and Henrique the forwards.
You saw early on the Devils looking for Zajac in the high slot for that shot. Pass tip more that we haven't seen a lot of, and we need to see some pucks redirected like we saw early on in the season where the Devils were deflecting passes past goaltenders and shots as well.
Nugent-Hopkins on the penalty kill, goes wide and puts the brakes on. Pouliot able to dish this back, and more time will tick away as it's taken here by Jeff Petrie, and he puts it on goal as Corey Schneider is put to the test for the first time tonight. Uneventful first minute, though, of the Devils' power play.
And the Devils are going to have to be careful, especially when you see Nugent-Hopkins on the ice. He's going to go on the offensive as well, even killing penalties. You got to make sure you're alert.
Havlat able to get this to Elias. Centering try in front from Michael Ryder, and that wouldn't go. Picked up here by Jagr. Jaromir Jagr sends it in deep. Petrie able to get it away from Martin Havlat, but loose along the near boards, and the Oilers send this the length of the ice.
I mentioned it, Steve, not much going on for the Devils. Unable to get set up in the Devils zone, and only 20 seconds left on the power play. One last rush to get something going positive for them.
Here's Elias dishing across, and Martin Havlat across to Jagr. Jaromir Jagr entering tonight as the Devils' leading scorer so far this season, a title he had at the conclusion of last year. Severson on the move here, but the penalty time is up, and Teddy Purcell is out of the box. Controlled by Andrew Ference, captain of the Edmonton Oilers, and fired in. Zubris tries to chip it out of the zone. He could not. Now Ference instead able to pick up Nail Yakupov, and the glove save is made by Schneider.
You see Yakupov had a chance to pass that puck to Schultz, but he elects to shoot, and that's what they want to see more of. Schultz was streaking down his defenseman. See Devils earlier on the power play here. One opportunity anyway. Patrick Elias feeds a streaking Michael Ryder going hard to the net, and he just tipped this wide, and the other defenseman as well, deflecting that pass. So that was kind of the only rush the Devils had, and a good opportunity there.
Here's Adam Larsson controlling off the draw and punching it back the other way. Tuomo Ruutu is quickly on the loose puck. Works it across for the cutting Jacob Josephson, and that connection just missed.
Real good back check by Arcobello there.
Ruutu behind the net. Works it back to the point. It got by Adam Larsson, and the Devils will retreat.
And that's what the Edmonton Oilers, a young team, likes to see. Their forwards helping out defensively, because that has been a problem this year. As far as the back checking and a little helter-skelter there, and a great back check job by Arcobello there.
They have been leaking goals this season, the Edmonton Oilers. Wednesday's 5-4 loss to Vancouver, marking the 6th time in the last 9 games that Edmonton surrendered 5 or more. What must be rectified if they're going to compete. Taken here by Edmonton, and the save made by Schneider off the stick of Teddy Purcell. Petrie with a shot from the point, and that's whistled wide. On the opposite side, that puck, pad save made by Schneider. Loose in the Devils zone, and Jagr will look to settle this down. Punched ahead to the stick of Travis Zajac. And worked across, Jelinov up the middle of the ice, and taken instead by Taylor Hall in his own end. Nugent Hopkins works it across. Dallas Eakins, head coach of Edmonton, in a major line shuffle in an attempt to get his team going. He was disappointed, even with the 4-goal output offensively. Didn't like what he saw offensively, and a different look. Taylor Hall taken off the top line here tonight. Here's Nikitin back at his own end. Elias able to get the puck back to the point. Damon Severson with a shot. Didn't get all of it. Elias trying to gather, and now Havlat works behind the net. Centering try that got through Victor Faust's crease and taken by the Oilers. Work back out towards the Devils' end, and Steven Gianta is back to collect this.
I thought Damon Severson broke his stick on that shot, but he just happened to fan on it. You're right, Steven. He's taking a lot of shots for the Devils.
Their leader in that department this year. This has sent the length of the ice, and an icing call here against the Devils with 13:56 to go in the first.
There's Coach DeBoer, and talked this morning about the Devils needing a 60-minute effort. We saw their first power play not very successful, but the penalty kills really improved. They want to see it kind of come together. The power play, and your general manager Lou Lamoriello talked about that as well. Desperation, intensity, and a 60-minute effort.
I asked DeBoer this morning if the first week of the season for him is proof positive that this club can score effectively 5-on-5. He agreed, and he said the fact that they're getting healthier now should be reflected in what this team does offensively. One-timer from the circle by Purcell is fired wide, and Karam's all the way back. With the exception of Ryan Clough, the forward group is healthy now for the Devils, as Draisaitl works it ahead and picks up Taylor Hall. Lost his edge, taken by Draisaitl again. The fans wanted a penalty call. Instead, Purcell turns and shoots. Now drops it back to the point. That try is blocked away in front. Ruutu for the Devils sends behind the net. New Jersey works it ahead, and here's Michael Ryder on the move. Knocked off his stick by Petrie. Michael Ryder crosses up in the offensive zone with Ruutu. Ruutu trying to find the handle. Instead, delivers a check on Nikitin, and worked ahead here by the Edmonton Oilers. Deflects back into the Devils zone. Here's Zidlitsky. Able to gather and punch it across, but the giveaway by Jelena, and that shot blocked away in front.
Saw Jacob Josephson shaking up on a hit from Steve Pinizzato along the wall. Hopefully he's okay for the Devils' sake.
Pinizzato, a 30-year-old journeyman, playing just his 20th National Hockey League game. Brought up to provide some grit in a lineup, and a team that doesn't have much size or strength. It's got skill. Taken here by Zajac and worked ahead. Here's Travis Zajac, works it across. That pass got by the stick of Mike Camilleri. Guides it back to the point. Green will funnel one back in deep. Here's Spain, the ex-Devil, and the Oilers able to come away with it. Benoit Pouliot, who went to the Cup final with the Rangers back in the spring. On this line with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Jordan Eberle. Zajac strong along the near boards and worked across here to Green. Tries to pick up Camilleri, and that deflects away. The Devils are offside. We'll step aside mid-first period. No score on this Friday night in Edmonton.
We take a look back at last game against Winnipeg, and you see the Devils, they gain the blue line and turn the puck over. And you're going to notice the arrows I drew where the puck's got to go deep. Yes, you want to make plays, but against a good defensive back-checking team like Winnipeg, sometimes there's no option. Go deep, cycle down low. I don't think the Devils are doing that enough this year, especially as of late, Steve. Their strength where they wear their teams down, get them out of position, and spend more time in their end. You saw there trying to get cute, make a play when there was too many Winnipeg Jets in the scene. The Edmonton Oilers, on the other hand, yeah, their play might be there, but you have to make right decisions with the puck and spend some time in the opposition's end.
That puck got by Patrick Elias. Mark Arcobello worked it across and steered in off the stick of David Perron. Here's Perron, the ex-St. Louis Blue. Takes a check from Adam Larson. Undeterred, it's worked back to the point. Puck comes out of the zone. Ference will send it back in on a delayed offside. Taken here by the Devils, and here's Martin Havlat starting up. Scoreless game, first period. Game 2 of the 4-game Western Canadian road trip for New Jersey. Eric Jelena backs it off the boards, and now Henrique. That pass intercepted by Purcell. Here's Teddy Purcell to Hall. Here's Taylor Hall. He shoots, and he fired wide. And guided out of the zone by Havlat.
The Devils turn the puck over in the neutral zone, and Taylor Hall with a dangerous chance.
Well, for the Edmonton Oilers, there is talent, having drafted so high for so long, but that's yet to translate into a winning record for the second-year Oilers head coach, Dallas Eakins. He's been under the gun from the start this year, Kenny. They had the start that every team wants to avoid. Winless in their first 5. They allowed 25 goals in that span. They rebounded to win a couple in a row, 4 to be precise, and then hitting the skids, and an inability to beat any team in the Western Conference in 10 tries so far. Deb Placey crunched those numbers in the pregame. They are mind-numbing. Take it here. Nugent-Hopkins with a shot, and that's rifled high and wide.
A huge save. Devils are going to take a penalty here.
Taken by Pouliot. Backhand try is no good. Centering try by Pouliot. Collected by Nugent-Hopkins. He turns, blocked away in front, and now the whistle. The Devils will be short-handed.
Huge save by Corey Schneider and Nugent-Hopkins on a delayed penalty. Eric Jelena broke his stick at the blue line. He had no choice. Oilers had numbers. You're going to see right here the penalty coming. Well, the puck's dumped in, but it's blocked the blue line. He breaks his stick. You see Eric Jelena there and ends up grabbing with his hands there. Nugent-Hopkins walks in on an odd man situation, and Corey Schneider gets a piece of that. Big save, and the Devils penalty kill, which has been much better the last 4 games, wants to continue that trend here.
So Jelena for holding, 9:35. They've killed 16 chances by the opposition in a row coming into the game tonight. Andy Green, big part of that unit, sends this the length of the ice. Adam Larson, the other defenseman on the field. Zajac and Camilleri are the forward tandem as the Devils are shorthanded for the first time tonight. Green delivers a check. Larson takes the puck. Worked away by Andy Green, but not out of the zone as it's kept alive by Nikitin. Caught up in the skates of Draisaitl, and the Devils clear it away again.
Good job by Travis Zajac to steal that puck and might allow Mike Camilleri to come in and shoot it down the ice.
Picked up here by Edmonton, and they send Draisaitl on his way. The German-born center offside are the Oilers here with 1:14 to go on the power play.
That's another one of their young guns. Wasn't drafted first overall like the three guys you had mentioned in the opening, Steve, but third overall, and they have high hopes for him. But let's not forget he's 18 years old. It will take him some time, and I've mentioned it before. I know Leon Draisaitl's father trained with him in Mannheim in the 80s. And a real good guy, and he's got the genes, that's for sure. Leon Draisaitl, his father was a good German-born player and played for their Olympic programs and World Cups and whatnot.
Pouliot gets hammered by Green on the far side. Nugent Hopkins looks to work it loose and picked up here by Steven Gianta. On the kill now with Jacob Josephson. Gianta funnels in deep, and the Oilers with not much going and 40 seconds to go here in the man advantage situation. Nugent Hopkins met at the line. Puck taken away by New Jersey to the stick of Henrique, who backhands at the length of the ice.
Well, good job so far by the Devils getting in the face of the Oilers. A nice gap there by Andy Green and able to poke that puck away. And it helped from Severson to get that puck cleared.
Draisaitl over the line. Tried to drop that puck. Instead taken away and sent the length of the ice again. This Oilers power play that's produced a goal in each of the last 3 games coming into tonight. Stifled so far. Time for another rush.
There's been a combination of a little carelessness from the Oilers as far as their passing and turnovers, and the Devils in good position.
Effective kill for the Devils. Each team's penalty kill 1 for 1, and we're back to 5-on-5. Hammered wide of Schneider's goal. He'll gather up with Severson there, but Purcell was lurking too. And we'll step aside with 8:10 to go in the opening period. No score. The Devils and Oilers.
Stay with us for the GMC intermission report. Coming up as soon as the first period is over, why Michael Ryder is not just a hot shot, but he takes a lot of shots, and why he wants to make sure he's not just a one-dimensional player. We'll go one-on-one with Michael Ryder coming up on the GMC intermission report, guys.
Thanks a lot, Deb. 3 times a 30-goal scorer in his career, Michael Ryder. Twice with Montreal and with Dallas 3 years ago. Taken here by New Jersey and Eric Shellenov. Fires in. That's gloved by Foss, and he'll hold on. Adam Henrique, second game back from injury, expecting bigger things tonight. Just trying to regain his rhythm, he said, in Winnipeg. He believes it's a plus having 2 centers on the same line down now. He's playing alongside Patrick Elias. He says they communicate very well, and Elias' vision makes it very fun to play.
This gives the Devils a little different look, and you can throw the opposition off guard if both of them are switching from the wing to center at times, and they feel comfortable doing that.
Here's Jágr on the puck for New Jersey. With Camilleri and Zajac. Mike Camilleri, Devils' leading goal scorer this season, works it back. Severson across. Green holds the zone and punches it off the backboard. Here's Jágr crossing up with Zajac. Centering try, kept alive with one hand on the stick by Severson, but now deflects out of the zone. And the Devils are guilty of offside as the puck came out.
Well, the Devils were just registered their first shot on goal as far as the shot clock there, and that's 12 minutes almost. We're over 12 minutes into this game, Steve, and they're going to have to get more shots and more pressure in Edmonton, and we know that. Either club hasn't had too many shots. The Oilers with 4, but they've had a couple of quality ones.
And that was the issue for New Jersey in the last defeat against Winnipeg. This is left at the side of the net, and the puck pops up high. Work back to the point. Here's Ference with a shot, and that puck deflected away wide. And taken by Josephson. Ryder in transition for the Devils. Tries to split 2 defenders. Muscles his way into the zone. This comes out in front. Taken on a backhand. That shot by Josephson. Saved by Foss. And the rebound taken by Edmonton and clear.
Best opportunity of the night for the Devils here with the Ryder, Josephson, and Ruutu line.
second and third shots of the game in that one sequence there for the Devils, Kenny. And I was saying that was the issue in Winnipeg. They had 9 shots through the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, they definitely have to spend more time. We showed that graphic, Steve.
Picked up here, David Perron puts the brakes on, and that shot blocked away. Firing away and blocked. The shot by Martin Marincin. Oilers try to stay with this. Here's Yakupov in the corner. Arcobello, 4-year player at Yale University, is the man on the puck here. Now Yakupov works it back to the point. Taken again. Marincin holds, now fires, and that's off the glass behind Schneider. Centering try by the Oilers, and this deflects out to center.
The Oilers defensemen are really rifling the puck. They've got that shoot-first mentality.
Right back into the attack, the Oilers here. Pad save by Schneider. The long rebound taken away and picked up here by Havlat. Here's Jelena on the move for the Devils. Second-year defenseman Eric Jelena punches it in deep. Nikitin back in his own zone, can't control. Devils try to push this in front for Henrique, and taken instead by Fane, who banks it away.
As mentioned, when you show those arrows when the Devils should dump it in and make smarter decisions against the Jets with the puck. They're not spending enough time in the Oilers' end right now. This is a team that runs around on their own end, but you got to cycle down low and spend some time there and use your big bodies.
Picked up here, and that chance is saved by Corey Schneider once again off the stick of Jordan Eberle. Green can't control. Pouliot on the puck for Edmonton, sends it behind the net. Here's Eberle. What represents the Oilers' top line. Shot by Ference is off the stick in front and deflected away. Surge here by the Oilers with under 5 to go in the opening period. Holding the zone is Ference, but that's deflected away. Camilleri trying to get on the loose puck. Slowed up just enough by Benoit Pouliot. Here's Petrie to Ference. Veteran defenseman, cup winner with the Boston Bruins back in 2011. Taylor Hall steps on for the Oilers. Here's Hall, sends it softly into the mitt of Corey Schneider. No score at Rexall Place in Edmonton.
Take a look at the Devils' best opportunity of the night. Good forecheck by Michael Ryder, and Andrew Ference turns that puck over right in the slot. You see Joseph with a backhand. The spinorama from Ruutu and Foster had to make a couple of good saves there. That was the only good opportunities the Devils have really had in this period. And there you see good work by Steven Gionta defensively, coming back hard, then covering the high slot and paying the price, blocking that big slap shot from the point.
8 blocked shots for the Devils already in the game, and still some 4.5 minutes to go in the opening period. None for the Oilers. Text messages from teammates came quickly after Mark Fane signed with the Oilers on July 1st. He knew he'd see good friend Andy Green at the wedding of his former defensive partner over the summer. With the Devils, Kenny, he was among the less experienced defensemen. You spend 5 minutes around the team this morning, and you see he's a leader already and has to be on this Edmonton team. As that shot deflects and picked up off the boards here by the Oilers. Controlled here. Arcobello with a shot that's off the side of the net. Seth Helgeson able to punch it away to the stick of Tuomo Ruutu. Michael Ryder and Jacob Josephson into the offensive zone trying to get on this. Instead, it comes back for Perron, but he is checked hard into the boards by Helgeson.
Good job by Helgeson. You got to still take the body when it's there, and made Perron pay the price.
Eberle with the strip. Devils try to punch it out of the zone, but Pouliot is knocked down. Another penalty is coming up against New Jersey.
It looks like it's going to be Michael Ryder. He was just going for a poke of the puck, and Pouliot was cruising in, and I think he just got enough of his skate to knock him down. Here, right here, you see Seth Helgeson doesn't bite. He looks Perron right in the chest. He doesn't go for the puck or the move, and takes Perron out heavily. You like to see that.
Short time we've seen Helgeson, 6'4", 215. He uses all of that to his advantage. Off the draw, it's taken here by Andy Green. So the Devils, who killed off now 17 straight power plays by the opposition, go to the well once again.
You mentioned Mark Fane, and Nobody's talked about. He's been very steady here. Not enough for the Devils to, or the Oilers, shall I say, be a little more consistent, but he has helped them out in the long run. It's going to pay dividends, but I got to be honest. When he was offered that contract, he had to be doing cartwheels.
He's settling in downtown Edmonton. Taken here by his Oilers teammates, and Draisaitl works it to Taylor Hall. Worked across. Here's Purcell. The return pass across broken up. Draisaitl looking for Hall, but Green hammers this and sends it the length of the ice.
And I don't make light of that. It's the fact that he put himself in that position, becomes a free agent, but going from what he was making approximately $750 to getting a $14 million 4-year offer sheet, you pinch yourself. And I know that as a player when your contract jumps that high. And good for Mark Payne taking advantage of it.
Short-handed Henrique. Opportunity for Adam Henrique. He shoots and the save made by Foss.
Adam Henrique with a burst of speed. The Oilers will give you those kinds of opportunities. And snaps the shot high, and Foss makes the save.
Here's Nugent Hopkins back the other way. And that shot blocked away by Helgeson, and the Devils with another clear. Under half a minute to go in this Oilers power play as Draisaitl. Justin Schultz back to collect this for the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins works it across, and this puck fired in by Marincin. Losing control, Perron. Taken by Giunta and worked ahead to Josephson on what's been another excellent kill for the New Jersey Devils, and this unit is 2 for its first 2 out of the gate tonight.
And the best opportunity came from the Devils on the breakaway from Adam Henrique, and boy, that would have been nice if he could have buried that. But real good speed, good effort by Adam Henrique. Better save by Foss.
No shots on either of the Oilers' power plays in the game tonight. Worked ahead by Edmonton. Steve Pinizzati. Second game back from the minors. Battling with Jaromir Jagr. Puck loose in the corner. Zidlitsky trying to work it free. Matt Hendricks, the veteran, in the corner as well. And now the puck taken here by Camilleri. He punches this ahead for Zajac. Zajac has Jagr cutting for the net. Walks in, backhand try, and the save made by Foss.
Travis Zajac got in a little tight. It looked like he wanted to pass over to Jagr with the Oilers back checking, and he got too tight to Foss and just kind of guided toward the net.
Funneled ahead for Elias. Elias puts the brakes on. Puck swept away by Petrie, and now Severson on the near side for the Devils. Pinching in, trying to hold, but back the other way come the Oilers. Eberle sees it knocked away by Jagr, who made the defensive play at center. Now Elias trying to find the handle. Tried to work it across for Henrique, but that's taken away by Edmonton. 20 seconds to go in the opening period of a scoreless game. Henrique tried to funnel in deep. Petrie, though, took it away for the Oilers, and here's Taylor Hall with maybe the final rush of the period. Hall trying to go wide on Severson. The centering try taken away by the Devils, deflected away, and that will do it for the opening period. 20 minutes in the books. No score at Rexall Place. Deb Placey and the GMC First Intermission Report moments away. Sunday, MSG Network. Get everything you need to know before the Giants match up against the Cowboys on Giants First and 10. Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. on MSG Network. No score after one period. Here are the highlights, though, with Ken Danico.
Devils only 4 shots on goal, but had some quality chances. We're going to see right here, Patrick Elias to Michael Ryder, and good play by Ferenczer. He has an open net. There you see the Oilers with some pressure, and they had a lot of it. Good job by Adam Henrique. Devils blocked 10 shots that period. Good and bad means they were in their end too much, but they did a real good job of positioning and deterring some Oilers scoring opportunities. Good positioning there by Adam Henrique. That was on the penalty kill. Good job on 2 penalty kills the Devils had. And here's a great opportunity. Joseph with a spinorama, and then Ruutu, or at the backhand, then Ruutu a spinorama. Foss had to make a couple of saves. There's one of the 10 blocks. Steven Giunta sacrificing the body, and here's shorthanded Adam Henrique on the breakaway. Great opportunity. Victor Foss just gets a piece of that with his blocker and stick. And here Travis Zajac right on top of Foss. He was looking for Yager cutting the net. He was picked up, so Travis Zajac kind of got caught between a rock and a hard spot there in tight on Boston. Was unable to get a real good shot out.
Well, Kenny, the Edmonton Oilers opened the season October 9th versus Calgary, and on that night, there was a 30-year reunion of the 83-84 Oilers, which many consider the greatest NHL team of all time. Here are some facts and figures from that season. 119 points, 446 goals scored. That stands as an NHL record. 57 wins, most points in a game. Wayne Gretzky with 8. That has since been tied by 3 other players, including Sam Gagner. You were in the area at the time. What stood out?
Well, growing up in Edmonton, yeah, I saw it firsthand. Just the skill level of the Edmonton Oilers. They came at you in waves when you're able to keep so many stars together. Coffey and Lowe, Messier, Gretzky. You go on down the list. And Yuri Curry, they were such a talented deep team, but gave up a lot of shots, and they had Grant Fuhr in the net you mentioned, who played 79 games one year with St. Louis, not Edmonton. But the will to win, the compete level, never mind all their skill and talent, you still don't win Stanley Cups and become a dynasty like the Oilers. And hanging around them as a kid and growing up with Mark Messier being a good friend, I really learned what it took and the drive they had and the will to win. Yeah, you need the skill to be as good as they were and win all those championships, but you need the character and wanted a little more than the other guy.
Well, I say greatest team of all time, according to some. That's something that'll get an argument from fans in Montreal and Long Island, certainly. There are a number of dynasties for which they could be measured. Here's Adam Henrique as the second period begins, and no score between these present-day Oilers and the Devils. Sent in front by Elias, looking for the bouncing puck is Henrique. Those two with Martin Havlat for the first time as Pete DeBoer looks to get offense going. And here's Havlat, shovels this across, and Elias turns, gives here to Henrique. Adam Henrique tries to get around one defender in Justin Schultz, taken away by the Oilers, and played across here to Taylor Hall. That pass broken up. Henrique got a stick on it. Andy Green to Yager. He's muscled along the far side. Now Jaromir Jagr keeps going. Drops this back. Severson with a shot. Sagan in front. Zajac worked it across for Camilleri, but they couldn't connect.
Devils in tight, getting some chances. Able to put one past Victor Foss there, and the puck bouncing a little bit as well.
Here's Jagr in traffic along with Zajac, who works the puck free, and now Jaromir Jagr gets it away from Schultz. Good pressure here by this unit. Zajac, Jagr, Camilleri, and it winds back to the point. Green able to pick up Mike Camilleri. Works it back for Severson. Wrist shot, blocked away in front by Foss, who made the save. And worked out of the zone by Nikitin. This will be an icing call against the Oilers and a surge here by New Jersey.
Justin Schultz, the young offensive defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers, was sought after by a lot of teams coming out of the University of Wisconsin. And you see his statistics there. In 141 games. You see he's got the offensive gifts. But again, he's a guy that's still learning how to play in his own end. And you got to find that balance as a young defenseman. He's a go, go, go type of guy. Will make defensive mistakes. And talking to some Edmonton people as well, saying that he's got to find that balance and learn to be a little more sound in his own end.
Second round pick of Anaheim in 2008. He never played for the Ducks. It's the Oilers who won the so-called free agent sweepstakes for Justin Schultz. And this is Dallas Eakins calling timeout, not liking what he sees from his team to start this second period. And they were exhausted chasing the Devils in their own end.
Good start for the Devils to this period. They got to continue to be desperate around that Edmonton Oilers net. You know, goals have been hard to come by here for the Devils as of late, but you got to keep firing away, get tips, get redirections, and find loose pucks around the goaltender.
And this is again sent the length of the ice by Edmonton, and another icing call as the Devils face a team tonight that's conceded 65 goals, the third most in the NHL. On what is always a challenging trip for the Devils, this trip out to Western Canada. Over the last 5 years, 2-9-2 playing in this section of North America. A long way from home. Worked ahead. That pass got by Everly. And collected here at center by Ruutu. He gives to Michael Ryder. Drops it back for Tuomo Ruutu, who funnels it back to Zidlitsky. Marek Zidlitsky plays it in deep. Josephson guides it back to the point. Zidlitsky across. Here's Eric Jelena. Wrist shot got through, and it just went wide. Ruutu along the near boards, able to punch this back in deep. More pressure by the Devils as Josephson collects behind the net. Cycles behind goal here for Ruutu. Oilers pinned in a bit in this stretch as Zidlitsky shakes loose of Eberle. Tried to work it across to the stick of Josephson, and it comes back here and collected by Schultz for Edmonton.
We saw a little cycle that I mentioned in the opening where the Devils spent some time down low. That's how you open up holes and lanes, especially against a young team like the Oilers who do make mistakes from their end. But again, not enough. You got to go down low a couple of times. This Devils team we know has been known for that. One of the better teams at cycling. Haven't seen enough of it there. You saw a little bit from the Ruutu Josephson line.
Picked up here by Gianta. Zubris so good in the situation that you're talking about, Kenny, and part of this unit now with Gianta and Bernier for a stretch. Here's Steve Bernier behind the net. Tried to play it in front for Zubris. Broken up by the Oilers. Helgeson tries to hold the zone, but the puck got past him. Back the other way comes Yakupov. And Adam Larsson deals with him.
Good finish on Yakupov by Larsson behind the net.
Played behind the net, taken here by Hendricks. Matt Hendricks for the Oilers. Works it back to the point. Ference barely controls and holds the zone. Now Henrique for the Devils in the corner. Puck jarred loose. Larsson continuing to battle here with Hendricks. Oilers guide it back to Ference. His shot and a save made by Corey Schneider. Loose puck gobbled up here by the Oilers, who are answering back. Here's Ference again. Another drive. And that puck deflects out of play. Well, the challenge for the Devils lately, scoring even strength goals. And scoring in general, perhaps. 5-on-5. Remember the 3-0 start to the season. The Devils scored 8 5-on-5 goals as they got out of the gate quickly. And then in the last 16, just 24 more. That is the challenge moving forward for this group. But again, with the exception of Ryan Clough, this is a forward unit that's healthy. The Devils had a good feel as they arrived here today.
Well, they're definitely a more balanced lineup now, but they have to get everybody on the same page and going together in one particular game. And we've seen the Devils come out good in the second period here.
Taken here by Jágr, Kenny. And a whistle on the play. It's offside against New Jersey.
They're getting a few chances, but again, Steve, it's about that finish and the desperation around the net. And the Devils know that. I mean, they've shown early on they're capable of it. We know teams get better as the season goes along as far as understanding their systems and defensive zone coverage. So it gets more difficult. And that's when you really have to focus and have that extra drive and desperation in front of the opposition's net.
Nugent Hopkins behind the Devils' net. Good hit by Andy Green to deny Eberle, and funneled ahead by Mike Camilleri. Still scoreless in the opening minutes of period 2 in Edmonton. Glad you've joined us tonight on MSG+. As Deb Lacey told you, the Islanders winners in a shootout against Pittsburgh. This is one of 3 games on the slate. There would have been 4. Rangers-Buffalo postponed. Jágr tracks down this on the opposite side. Now back to Zidlitsky. That shot saved by Fost and lifted away by Edmonton.
There was defensemen getting pucks through. We saw Severson Jelena get some quick shots.
Camilleri puts the brakes on. Puck taken off his stick by Purcell, and back the other way come the Oilers. Taylor Hall crosses up here with Draisaitl. German-born teenager in the National Hockey League. Hall tries to guide this back. Deflected away. Draisaitl able to punch it back in deep. Jelena can't control. Loose behind the net, Zidlitsky. Slaps at this in the corner. Edmonton able to come away with the puck anyway. Turning and shooting, and the save made by Corey Schneider at the side of the net to deny Marincin. Comes back to Marincin again. Another try, and it's gloved by Corey Schneider, who holds on.
Oilers doing a good job of cycling the puck, getting some pressure on the Devils. The defenseman we know will join the attack for Edmonton. They get some chances here. Corey Schneider in particular makes a couple of good saves, and there you see the spin around of Rama from Marincin, the defenseman. And again, the puck goes back to him, and he blasts one high, and Corey Schneider able to gobble that up with his glove. Nobody in front.
He has stopped all 10 from Edmonton to this point. Off the draw, Helgeson in his own end. Schultz pinching in to keep it in the Devils zone. Now comes back to Justin Schultz and played across. That shot and the save made by Schneider, who's been sharp so far tonight as this puck goes back towards the Edmonton end and taken here by Schultz. Third season for the former collegiate star out of the University of Wisconsin, Justin Schultz. Looking for Arcabello. It got by his stick, taken by Larson instead. Bouncing puck taken away by the Oilers. Devils dodge a bullet there, and it's worked across by Michael Ryder.
Dangerous pass by Adam Larson there, picked off, and fortunately he had some forward help from Josephson and the Whites.
Steve Pinizzato lost his edge. Puck taken away by the Devils, and Ryder now at center. But a whistle on the play. And we'll step aside with 13 and a half to go in the middle period, and no score in Edmonton.
Here are tonight's Timberland Pro Hard Hits highlights. You see Josephson take the hit from Pinizzato. There, Andy Green, nice takeout of Pouliot, and there's Seth Helgeson on David Perron. So you've seen some pretty good collisions, and those are your 3 of your pro hard hits from Timberland right there.
The penalty to Edmonton just as we went to break to David Perron. We'll wait for the official word from the scorer's table as to why the Devils with the man advantage for the second time. Too many men on the ice. It is Perron who is serving it for the Oilers. And Camilleri takes and gives it across here for Adam Henrique. Camilleri, Henrique, and Zajac on for the power play. Travis Zajac in the corner. Bumped by Ferentz and worked back to the point. Taken here, Severson with a shot off the body in front. Turnaround try by Camilleri. Trickles wide of the Edmonton net. Work to the stick of Boyd Gordon, who backhands at the length of the ice.
Well, the way this game is going, we're seeing pretty good goaltending from both sides. Not a lot of great chances. Good opportunity here for the Devils, especially on a bench minor. You got to take advantage of it and get that first goal. It looks like so far it's going to be an important one.
Elias and Ryder step on with Martin Havlat. In the neutral zone, Havlat to Ryder and worked across here. Opportunity, Severson walks it, he shoots and a save made by Victor Foss. Elias trying to reach out and control. Comes instead to Nugent Hopkins, can't clear the zone. Punched back in deep by Zidlitsky. Shot by Havlat and a save by Foss.
Devils pressing some good chances now, and Victor Foss comes up big in succession on Severson and Havlat.
Work to the circle, shot by Ryder, saved by Foss, and he holds on.
A much better power play here by the New Jersey Devils. Still haven't found the back of the net, but 3 real good chances. Here, Severson finds himself all alone, walks in and takes a pretty good shot, real good shot. In fact, Victor Foss had to be sharp there. Marty Havlat in the high slot. Good positioning by Foss. The Devils get 2-3 good chances right in the slot. Unable to find the net.
Zidlitsky controls off the draw. Shot from the far side by Elias is blocked away. Here's Fane, who's able to clear it away. Mark Fane in the familiar penalty kill role that he served as a New Jersey Devil for 4 years. Picked up here by Ryder. Time for another rush for the Devils as Ryder starts up. Yager at center ice. Works it across and picks up Havlat, who drops for Elias. His pass across, broken up by Hendricks. Puck loose at the side of the net. Here's Havlat, centering try for Elias. That got by his stick. Zidlitsky, his shot blocked away. Penalty time is up. Out of the box is Perron, and the teams are back to 5-on-5.
Much better pressure from the Devils and more offensive time there, but again, not finding the back of the net, but good looks.
Time now for the Cadillac trivia question. As we get a look at young Damon Severson, the Devils' leader in shots this season. Who holds the Devils' record for most shots by a defenseman in his rookie season?
We just saw Damon Severson get a point-blank range shot on the power play, and He fires a lot. You like to see that.
You're not nominating yourself as the answer yet. You're
not the
strangely
answer.
silent on this one. Loose at the side of the net. Bernier with a try and a save made by Fost again.
It is not a trick question. It's not me, I don't believe. I did get a lot more shots back in the day when I was younger, but I have an idea who this one is.
Victor Fost reaches out and holds on. And a surge here by the Devils. There was one point where they were being outshot 8-3. They've now taken the shots advantage 13-11 in the hockey game.
Yeah. Just over 9 minutes gone in this second period. The Devils have already taken 9 shots, and they had to take more. Only getting 4 in the first, even though a couple quality opportunities, but 9 shots. You have to keep firing, especially when it's not going in for you. Just keep shooting that puck, get bodies in front.
Josephson along the near boards, work back to Helgeson at the point, and that's blocked away in front by Arcobello. Now Josephson behind the net, crosses up with Tuomo Ruutu, who takes the puck. Guides it back to Helgeson. His wrist shot held by Fost, and no rebound to be had. His 7 goals are the most on the team, and yet that total for Mike Camilleri would be more robust had he not hit a post at a pretty critical time Tuesday against Winnipeg. No other Devil has scored more than 4 times, and this is a special weekend for him. Back to Calgary tomorrow night, where he played parts of 4 seasons and where the Flames might be the NHL's most pleasant surprise at 12-7-2. Another reason this trip presents challenges. Only fond memories of his days in Calgary, says Mike Camilleri. Here's Pinizzotto into the Devil zone. He's ridden off here by Andy Green. Centering try by the Oilers as Hendricks takes and now works it back to the point. That shot saved, made by Schneider. Loose at the side of the net and gobbled up by the Devils to the stick of Jagr. Worked ahead neatly to Zajac. Travis Zajac walks in. He's got Camilleri with him, and that connection just missed. Another penalty is coming up. It's a high stick, and it's against Edmonton.
I'm not sure who the high stick is against. I think it might
just a stoppage in play.
just a stoppage in play. I think it was a high stick of the puck. But again, Devils get a glorious 2-on-1 opportunity. Camilleri was coming late, so he wasn't that open. You're going to see right here, Travis Zajac. Boy, it was played real well by Mark Fane, the former Devil. And you'd like to see Travis Zajac let that one go, wouldn't you?
Taken here by Elias. Work back to Zudlitsky, and now the return pass to his checkmate. Elias in the corner, guides it behind the net. Now Havlat to Henrique. Good puck movement by the Devils as it comes back to Zudlitsky. He shoots, and that's blocked away.
That's Benoit Pouliot limping going off the ice. And a hard shot.
Slowly to the bench, Pouliot as Havlat muscles his way into the Edmonton zone. Delivers a check on Nugent Hopkins. And worked across by the Oilers. Past the midway mark of period 2, scoreless in Edmonton. They pick up Henrique. Adam Henrique in again. A step on his man. He scores! Adam Henrique, second game back. And it's a big one as it gives the Devils the lead.
Adam Henrique was not going to miss the second time on a breakaway. Great pass and awareness from Eric Jelena as he feeds Adam Henrique. He finds that hole and shields off Schultz. No, it's the pass, shall I say, is from Bernier. Great pass by Steve Bernier, finding Adam Henrique coming from the box. And there, great job shielding off Schultz, the defenseman, and able to go low between the legs of Victor Fost, give the Devils a 1-0 lead. And they've really put on a lot of pressure in this second period. Finally pays dividends with the goal from Henrique.
Secondary assist indeed, though, will go to Eric Jelena.
To number 18, Steve Bernier.
You have to like that pass from Bernier. You're known for his grunt work. Boy, he
Time 10 minutes 39.
found the seam right on the tape in stride of Adam Henrique.
Henrique from Bernier and Jelena at 10:39. It is the even strength goal that's eluded the Devils lately. A 1-0 lead in Edmonton.
Let's take a look at the Devils' first goal, the first goal of the hockey game, a giveaway from Taylor Hall to Jelena. He recognizes that feeds Bernier. Great pass to a streaking Adam Henrique. And he shields off the defenseman Schultz for the Oilers right here. And goes between the legs of Victor Foss to give the Devils a 1-0 lead. Well executed. Devils capitalizing. We talked about the Oilers, a team that will make mistakes, and Taylor Hall gives that puck away at the wrong time. Devils counterattack very effectively there.
Long time ago, it seems, Steve Bernier was a first-round pick of San Jose, 16th overall back in 2003. Exhibiting some passing skill there, and he's played well since coming back from Albany. Picked up here by Josephson and sent to Michael Ryder. Behind the net for Ruutu. Picked up by Josephson. Ruutu absorbed the hit. Now gets the puck. Tries to work it in front for Ryder. Taken away by the Oilers, and Everly sends this to the stick of David Perron. Here's Schneider behind the net. Banked away by Andy Green. Trying to get on the puck is Ruutu, and gloved down by Green again. 1-0 Devils, just over 8 minutes to go in the second period. Zajac picks up Camilleri. He shoots, and he fired it wide.
Quick wrister from Camilleri, kind of fooled Foss, but he missed the net.
Pass across, got by the stick of Yager, and collected here by Schultz. Fans get the Let's Go Oilers chant going as it's worked across to Arcobello. Purcell now with a shot. Closed down by Adam Larson. Paired with Seth Elgeson. Puck jarred loose, and Yager is on his way. Yager stops. Got free of Nikitin. Neat little move by Camilleri, but he lost the puck, and it's sent away.
You see Jaromir Jagr using that long reach.
Icing against the Oilers. Tonight's upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus. We're live in Calgary tomorrow night, 10 o'clock on MSG+. Late night edition of Hockey Night Live follows that game. And then the road trip concludes Tuesday at Vancouver, 10 o'clock on MSG+. Day after Thanksgiving, get out to the Rock. Devils, Red Wings. We'll have it for you live on Plus if you can. Off the draw, Jelena shot, saved by Foss, who holds on.
Good quick wrist shot, nice draw. Devils win cleanly, and Eric Jelena gets that shot in net, gets a lot of mustard on that. Comes off Eric Jelena's stick so quickly, and he really gets a lot on it, but relatively easy save for Foss. The fact that nobody was able to get a stick or get in front of that puck and screen Foss, but good job by the Devils off the faceoff.
Devils out shooting the Oilers in this period 12-5, still with 7.5 minutes to play. Jelena's getting more shots on net, and he's doing it with a wrist shot. We've seen that from the opening stages of the year. Here's Eliash in his own end. Works it across, and here's Jelena on the move again. Fires in. Foss collects behind his goal and gives to Schultz. And played ahead for Pinizzotti. Andrew Ferentz takes and sends into the Devils' end. Jelena back to defend. Crosses up with Pinizzotti. Still loose and kicked out here by Jelena. Pinizzotti battling for the loose puck. Matt Hendricks is on as well. Fourth liners for the Oilers trying to get something going, including Boyd Gordon, who sends it back in deep. Collected here at the circle. Hendricks trying to find the handle. Corey Schneider has had enough of that. He covers up and stops play.
Marty Havlat back in the lineup a few games ago and starting to feel healthier, and you can see it. You know, he's a guy that has skill. Steve can make plays, good hands. You see him and Patrick starting to play much better together. You saw Adam Henrique now up with them, and I think that has the makings of a real good line.
Perron off the draw, blocked away by Schneider. They'd like to get multiple lines going, New Jersey. It's been a while since that's been the case as it's played back, and that shot deflected away, fired off the stick of Marincin. Loose behind the net. Collected here by New Jersey and controlled by Adam Larson. Dina Zubris able to work it across, picks up Gianta. Steven Gianta over the line, goes wide, shoots on Foss, and it's blocked away by the Oilers goaltender. And Draisaitl works this across. Good to see Dina Zubris back. Doesn't miss a game. Took 4 stitches to the upper lip after he was struck Tuesday night. Right back at it tonight. This puck deflects out of play and will step aside under 6 minutes to go in the second period. The Henrique goal has the Devils on top.
Yesterday was the 31st anniversary of not just this game, but of the Mickey Mouse comments from the one and only Wayne Gretzky afterward. John McClain is not with us on the trip, but we put him to work before we left, guys. He narrates his memories of that night, which Ken Danico takes great pride in always reminding us he missed that game.
And I missed it because I broke my leg approximately a week before that game, Steve. And the score would have been no worse than 10-4, I tell everybody, if I was in the lineup.
Well played, sir. Severson works it ahead. It's a much different one tonight. One goal has been scored between the two teams. Offside as New Jersey as Camilleri countered in. Well, from time to time we run into the traveling Jagers, and the salute is out in full force tonight. This was prior to the game this evening. The family grows, including two youngsters.
That's just fantastic. I mean, you gotta love it, and that's the respect Jaromir Jagr has around the National Hockey League. An illustrious career. I get a good chuckle out of that. That's just fantastic. And I remember Jaromir with that hairdo is a lot of difficulty stopping him with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Here's Ruutu controlling for the Devils. Turns and shoots and sticked aside by Victor Faust. Jagr historically has played well against Edmonton. In his career, 39 points in 32 games. It seems those numbers are similar from team to team as we go around the National Hockey League, reflective of the wonderful career he's had. Worked across by the Oilers. Schultz trying to get on the loose puck. Punched away by the Devils to the stick of Ruutu. Here's Ruutu at the circle. Shoots, he scores! Tuomo Ruutu! Top shelf on Faust for a 2-0 lead.
Great heads-up play by Eric Jelena. Seeing the Oilers were caught. Justin Schultz tried to beat him to the loose puck in the Devils' end, and Jelena with the bank pass to Ruutu. He picks it up and shoot the puck. That's what the Devils have not done enough of. They've done a lot of it in this second period. What a terrific shot by Ruutu. You see right here, looks off his line mates and elects to shoot. Good decision, goes upstairs, gives the Devils a 2-0 lead. We have not seen that in quite some time. The Devils get that next goal and put even more pressure on the opposition, and especially a young Edmonton Oilers team down 2 goals now.
Fourth goal of the season for Tuomo Ruutu. Unassisted at 15:07 to double the Devils' advantage.
Well, that's wrong. Eric Jelena will definitely pick up an assist there with the bank pass off the boards.
Indeed he will, Dano. We'll await the correction, but for now, it's Ruutu who celebrates, and a guy who's seen a role that fluctuate between third line and fourth line. 4 goals for Tuomo Ruutu, someone who scored 26 in the past in his career. And here's Taylor Hall. The place gets a little bit more quiet, Rexall Place. Taken away by Bernier and the Devils, and in transition they come. Tail end of his shift. He'll head to the bench in the period of the long change.
You can see the Oilers now. They all jump up ice. You can catch them in outnumbered situations.
Andy Green cuts them off at the pass. Here's Henrique back the other way. Adam Henrique shoots. Save made by Faust. And the rebound worked away by the Oilers all the way back to Damon Severson.
See, they abandoned their defensive positioning, Steve. And yes, they're going to get offensive chances, but they will get caught. Devils getting some chances now. Here's the goal. You see Eric Jelena with a heads-up play. Schultz, ill-advised pinch there, trying to get that puck. It goes right to Ruutu, and he blasts one over the shoulder of Faust off the left wing and gives the Devils a 2-0 lead. You mentioned Ruutu, Steve. We've talked about how his game has been real solid. He's strong, he's physical along the walls, but he does have a knack to score goals, and there's no reason he shouldn't be able to put the puck in at times, and that was his 4th goal. The Devils need contributions from everywhere, and Ruutu has given them a 2-0 lead.
Which turned into an excellent period for the Devils offensively. 16 shots to 7 for the Oilers in this period with under 3.5 to go. And another icing call here against Edmonton. Devils making what will likely be their next to last trip to this arena that was the Northlands Coliseum in the glory years. The Oilers will move into a state-of-the-art downtown arena at the start of the 2016-2017 if all goes as scheduled. Here's Jágr sending it into the corner. Zajac is checked by Nikitin. Now Camilleri joins the fray along with Jágr. Jaromir Jágr digging for the loose puck. Zajac as well. It's jarred loose and taken away by Pinizzato. Picked up at center ice. Here's Zajac. To the stick of Jágr and picks up Marek Zidlitsky. Camilleri now. Backhands one in front. Jágr at the doorstep. Save made by Fost. Reaches out. And the puck is somewhere under the mass of humanity.
Great pressure by the Devils. Nice passing through the neutral zone. Then in the Devils' offensive zone, or in the Oilers' zone, shall I say. And Jágr with a couple of whacks at the puck. You see right here, good Zajac to Jágr to Zidlitsky and back to Camilleri, and Jágr right on the doorstep there with 2-3 whacks at that puck. Victor Fost able to cover it up. A good puck movement by the Devils, and something that, again, has been better in this second period.
Jordan Eberle into the Devils zone. Worked free and taken away by New Jersey. Punched ahead to center. Michael Ryder controls with the skate, gives to Ruutu and played across. Here's Severson with a shot. Saved by Fost, and this time he holds on.
Again, Devils come with speed through the neutral zone. Edmonton giving them some lanes here, and you know they're going to be pressing and looking for offense. That's their mentality. So the Devils again get a good shot from Severson. You never can take for granted, though. You know this Oiler team can't strike quickly, Steve. So the Devils continue to press, get some offense here, and try to get another goal.
The Giunta line on here with Zubras and Bernier. It's jarred loose. Giunta takes, and he fires this just wide with Bernier providing the presence in front. Zubras takes this in the corner. Gives to Steve Bernier. Bernier, one hand on the stick, still able to control. Andy Green with a shot that's blocked away by Yakupov. 2 minutes to go in the second period of play. Yakupov winds this around. Puck taken here by Schultz. Bumped by Zubras. Strong forecheck by the Devils as they've got Edmonton pinned into its own end of the ice. Now they work it ahead. Here's Arcobello on the move for Edmonton. Arcobello puts the brakes on and backhands it in deep. Here's Yakupov on the puck. Havlat there to deal with him. Work back to the point. Petrie with a shot. Blocked away by Henrique.
Real nice block by Adam Henrique. And he's hurting going to the bench here, and you don't want to see that the way Adam Henrique's played so far tonight.
Picked up by Arcobello. He shoots and he fires it wide. As they tend to Henrique on the Devils bench, we play on. Loose in the Devils zone. Picked up here by Edmonton and guided back to Petrie. His shot, save made by Schneider with 1:01 to go.
Dainis Zubras playing in his 500th game as a New Jersey Devil, and my oh my, does time fly, as they say, Steve. Zubras has been a good soldier for this hockey team, and you know, he gives you 100% an honest effort every night. So instrumental in the Devils Stanley Cup run 3 years ago as well. And, you know, his role's changing a little bit, like we had talked about, and he seems to be doing a real good job, and he enjoys playing with Bernier. You mentioned how well he's playing.
Says he doesn't consider that a fourth line. There are times the Devils don't either. His 18th National Hockey League season. The Stanley Cup final twice in his career. 97 with the Flyers, 2012, of course, with New Jersey, as you mentioned. Taken here by Jágr, knocked off his stick by the Oilers and worked ahead to Taylor Hall. Able to drop this back. Now they funnel it back to Hall. Return feed is taken away by Jágr and the Devils with under half a minute to go. New Jersey in transition as Camilleri over the line. Knocked off his stick by Eberle, but Camilleri sends it in deep. They've made official what we suspected. Eric Jelinek gets the primary assist on the goal by Ruutu. Final seconds of the second period. Nugent Hopkins on the puck for Edmonton. Sends it in deep for Hall. And with that, the second period comes to an end. 23-16, the shots advantage in the game for New Jersey, and they've got the 2-0 lead in Edmonton. Join the Devils in supporting Toys for Tots on November 28th when they take on the Red Wings at 7 p.m. Those that donate 3 or more unwrapped toys will receive a ticket voucher good for 1 complimentary ticket to an upcoming home game. All fans in attendance will also receive a 2015 team calendar. To purchase tickets, visit NewJerseyDevils.com or call 1-800-NJ-DEVIL. 2 goals for the Devils in period 2. Dano, the highlights, please.
A real good second period for the New Jersey Devils, and you see Taylor Hall there. Nowhere to go. 4 Devils around him, but he doesn't get the puck deep. Headman by Steve Bernier to a streaking Adam Henrique, and he scores on the breakaway. His second breakaway of the night. Missed on the first one, no mistake there. And then again, Eric Jellin, a good recognition, bangs the puck off the boards to Ruutu. Devils have numbers. He elects to shoot. He goes upstairs over the shoulder of Foss to give the Devils a 2-0 lead. 19 shots on goal, Steve. Very impressive and something the Devils have to do more of. Don't expect 19 every period, every game, but certainly a more concerted effort to get shots on net. If you don't shoot, you can't score, and they took enough shots and were able to find the back of the net twice.
2 assist night for that man, Eric Jelena, so far, as we brace for the third period. The goals by Henrique, his 5th, Ruutu, his 4th, and now the Devils look to lock this down as we get set for the final period. The Oilers are down a player. Benoit Pouliot suffered a broken foot on that blocked shot in the second period. It is the last thing that this team that has struggled mightily needed. Quick shot by Taylor Hall is blocked away by Corey Schneider. See how Dallas Eakins works it. Taylor Hall out to start this second period with the same line mates this third period with the same line mates he had in the second, Draisaitl and Purcell. On the move come the Oilers again. Here's Hall, looks for a lane to shoot, broken up by the Devils and taken here by Martin Havlat. Work back by Purcell, and the redirection in front by Hall is tipped wide. Good start to the third period by Edmonton, but the puck taken away by Patrick Elias, who lifts it away. Glove down at center ice. Here's Marincin. Backhands it towards goal, wide of Schneider's cage. Loose puck, swatted at by Yager. Arcobello trying to control as it's worked across, and now Marincin sends it towards net. Saved by Schneider, the rebound. He got that too on a backhander in front by Mark Arcobello.
Well, the Devils on their heels here. You knew Edmonton would come out flying, and a couple of times Devils have a chance to get the puck further than the neutral zone, but they don't. The Oilers come full force on attack. There's a huge save by Schneider in front on the backhand off of Arcobello's stick, I believe, and you see right here, yeah, right in front, number 26. So the Devils, especially when you know Edmonton's going to come, you have to get that puck through the neutral zone. They got a little careless there, and Devils couldn't change as well.
Severson behind his net. Perron got it 3, and the sharp angle shot is stopped by Corey Schneider. Another try by Marincin is deflected wide. Fane on the opposite side pinching in, and the Oilers continue the pressure as it's banked out of the zone by Camilleri. Opening minutes of the third. Here's Severson back to collect for the Devils and worked across to Andy Green. Long pass for Camilleri. He'll dump in and head to the Devils bench. Taylor Hall back on for his second shift of the period and works it ahead. Here's number 4 for the Oilers. Works it across, looking for Ferentz cutting in. Taken away by the Devils. It's a 2-on-1 the other way. Yager across, bouncing puck for Josephson. And a play that had hope broken up by the Oilers.
That 2-on-1 opportunity.
Ruutu able to funnel one in deep, and Petrie back to collect here for Edmonton. Played it off the side of his own goal, and now the puck winds around here to the stick of Matt Hendricks.
Again, if the Devils stay sound positionally, they're going to get outnumbered situations. The Edmonton Oilers will be pressing. We saw that. Well, there you see the block shot by Benoit Pouliot, and that was a blast from Marek Zidlitsky. He goes off limping, and Steve had mentioned he broke his foot on that shot. And these guys, boy, they take a lot of punishment with the way the players can shoot the puck today.
challenging time now for Edmonton. 4-game losing streak that we've mentioned. This is already Edmonton's 3rd losing streak of 4 or more games this season. Last place in the Pacific Division, and they lose a player in this game that Dallas Eakins slides into a top-line left-wing role, and that's just another thing that this team has to overcome. It's been rough. The Blackhawks are here. They play the Oilers in this building tomorrow night. And all the trouble they've had against teams in the Western Conference, still seeking their first win within the conference. Here they trail by 2. Pinizzotto rushes off the check by Dainis Zubris, and now Pinizzotto went back at him. Bernier and Giunta deep in the zone. Steven Giunta knocked down. Puck taken here by Edmonton and lifted ahead. Pass across, got by the stick of Jelena. Collected by the Oilers again. Here's Hendricks in the corner. Checked by Zidlitsky. Gets some help from Zubris, and he's hit by Pinizzotto.
A real good job by Zidlitsky. And there, Jelena, strong along the wall. Something that hasn't been consistent with this Devils team, but really pinching the Oilers off in their end.
Taken here by Ruutu. Shovels it across. Shot by Josephson, and a save by Faust. Quick setup by the Devils and taken away by Perron, who looks to dump in, but he's sealed off by Helgeson. Josephson works it ahead, and the Devils work it to the stick of Michael Ryder. Turns at center. Devils use the opportunity to change on the fly. 4 minutes into the 3rd. Ference for Edmonton. Worked across Draisaitl. The return pass. Works it for Hall. That shot. Save made by Schneider.
Great speed from the Edmonton Oilers. And their young draft pick, Leon Draisaitl, feeding Taylor Hall. Good save by Corey Schneider.
And fired in by Petrie. Schneider able to block that away, and it deflects out of play. 4.5 into period number 3.
We talked about the speed and skill set of some of these young Oilers. You see Draisaitl, all kinds of room through the neutral zone, give and go. Then he sees Taylor Hall with the nifty backhand pass. Kind of a sharp angle, a little in front for Hall, but Corey Schneider still gets across. You mentioned Taylor Hall does not need a lot of the net. He always seems to find the net with his shot as well, and Schneider had to be sharp.
Hall, a terrific young talent. As Deb reminded you between periods, junior hockey teammate of Adam Henrique. Controlled by the Devils. A penalty is coming up against New Jersey here. What do we have?
There's Zidlitsky going off. I believe it's for high sticking. It's 4 minutes, Steve. Big part of this hockey game, as you see, he catches Nail Yakupov right in the choppers. Boy, you got to be careful there. That's a costly penalty there. Gets his stick up, and obviously Yakupov was bleeding, so the Devils got their work cut out for them here at a crucial part of this game with a double minor.
Penalty kill, perfect 18 for its last 18 kill attempts. Put to the test here, and Zajac starts the kill with a quick clearance. Ian Camilleri on the kill. The forward tandem that starts, Andy Green, Adam Larson are the defensemen on. Oilers trying to turn the game around with a 4-minute power play. Double minor against Zidlitsky. They drop it back to the point and set up. Here's Teddy Purcell at the circle. Works it across. Big save by Schneider on the one-timer by Taylor Hall. Another try. Stopped by Schneider again. Draisaitl. Oilers challenging Schneider. He's answering the test so far. Schultz works it across. They play it to Draisaitl, and he works it across to the stick of Purcell. Played down low. Perron tries to walk in front with it. Loose at the side of the net. Hammered away and out of the zone by Zajac.
A lot of pressure around Corey Schneider. Taylor Hall, boy, can he shoot that puck. He's had some good chances, and he had another one there. The Devils finally give Schneider some help and are able to clear that puck.
Picked up here by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Works it across. Everly trying to control off the boards. Elias can't get it out of the zone. Oilers hold. Now broken up by New Jersey, and Henrique will send it the length of the ice.
Good work by the veteran Patrick Elias pursuing that puck, and hitting his stick in the lane.
Giunta, Josephson on to continue the kill with Severson and Green. Oilers gain the zone. Nugent-Hopkins on the puck here. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins drops it back. Return pass from Petrie. Played behind the net. Hendricks trying to set up Eberle. Deflects off Eberle's stick. Still loose in the corner and the Oilers control. Work back towards the point. That's too hot to handle for Petrie. The Oilers need to get back onside. Penalty kill now. Halfway there. 2 minutes to go in the double minor to Marek Zidlitsky. Work back to the point and controlled again by Petrie. Dishes across. Nugent-Hopkins down low. To the stick of Arcobello. Mark Arcobello shoots. That was partially blocked by Severson. Oilers keep it in the zone. Now Josephson trying to muscle it out.
It's called offside. Puck got across the blue line. Nugent-Hopkins unable to keep that puck in. Here's some opportunities from the Oilers. They're zipping that puck around. There's Taylor Hall on the one-timer. Boy, Schneider gets his right pad out. Big save there. And look at the Oilers right in the high slot. Another save by Schneider. He's finding that puck on the quick releases from this young Oiler team.
Off the draw, played back towards Schneider. He nurses this to the stick of Adam Larsson, who clears it away. Schultz back to collect this for the Oilers. Under 90 seconds to go in the kill. Draisaitl gains the zone, shovels it across. He's got Hall. Puts the brakes on and works it back towards the point. It got by Purcell and all the way back. The natives here in Edmonton getting restless now.
Some pucks jumping on the Oilers when they try to feed their defenseman. That one popped over the stick and out of the zone.
Draisaitl gains the zone. Leon Draisaitl goes wide, knocked off his stick by Larsson. Hall is able to collect for the Oilers. Punches it back to the point. Purcell works it across, and now Schultz. Deflects to the near side, and Teddy Purcell's got it. The ex-Tampa Bay Lightning winger works it to the circle. Set up here by Hall. The dangerous Taylor Hall nurses it back to the point. Schultz for Purcell. Holds at the near circle. Fans urging the Oilers to shoot. Now they battle for the loose puck. Draisaitl and friends trying to control. Purcell one-handed out of the zone by Dainis Zubris. Short-handed Zubris into the Oilers' end. The power move, and he goes crashing into Foss. And with that, play will stop with 24 seconds left on the kill for New Jersey.
Great effort from Dainis Zubris. Right from his own end at the blue line, able to stay with that puck. Look at the battle. And that's the will you need right there. He reads the play, continues to stay with it and drive hard to the net. And in fact, that puck, I think, crossed the line, but the net was off its moorings well before. But just a real good shift, good penalty kill from Dainis Zubris. And that's the extra effort you like to see, especially on the penalty kill, an important time of the hockey game. Dainis Zubris showed it there.
Giunta, Josephson on to continue. Off the draw, controlled by Ference with 20 seconds to go on this Oilers power play. Oilers captain Andrew Ference able to gain the zone and dish off. That pass across for Nugent-Hopkins. Kept alive by Eberle at the point. He's checked by Josephson. The Oilers control. But now, trying to punch it forward, Nugent-Hopkins is chased back. Penalty time is up. Nugent-Hopkins, the power move as they're back to 5-on-5. Centering try, scooped up by Zidlitsky, controlled by the Devils and worked ahead. This penalty kill unit, ranked last in the National Hockey League coming into tonight, is now 20 for its last 20.
Great job in the 4-minute minor. Just an excellent positioning, stick work, effort by the Devils there.
2 shots on the double minor while Zidlitsky was serving. Shot by Petrie is blocked away. Jágr tried to send Camilleri on a break, but that's taken away by the Oilers, and now Hendricks. Net by the Devils, and Jágr collects and gives here to Zajac.
Andy Green went to the bench. He took that shot off his left hand, and boy, would that be a big blow if Andy Green was injured whatsoever. He logged so many important minutes. And for me, one of the more underrated defensemen in the National Hockey League.
Marincin works it across, able to pick up Purcell, whose try is blocked away. He's hounded by Eric Gelinas, and now Draisaitl on the puck for Edmonton. 10.5 to go, third period of play. Devils with the 2-0 advantage, and backhanded in by Ference. Devils trying to send the Oilers to a 5th consecutive loss and move back to NHL 500 in the process. Here's Hall with a hit on the far side on Henrique, former teammates at Windsor. Work free, and Draisaitl takes. Draisaitl tries to work it in front. Havlat got rid of it quickly and taken here by the Devils and Josephson.
Again, Oilers applying pressure, and you knew they're going to come hard this period. The Devils bend but don't quite break yet. And good job in front of Schneider.
Marincin works it ahead. Back the other way, Everly. Met at center ice effectively by Ruutu, who's had a strong game tonight and sent in deep. Here's Marincin deep in his own end. Funneled ahead. Oilers on the move once again. David Perron over the line. Larson goes tumbling as Perron is able to regather. Backhands it in deep, controlled here by the Oilers. Nugent Hopkins for Everly. To the opposite point. Petrie with a shot, and he fired it wide. Picked up here by Marincin. Bouncing puck in the corner, worked away by Adam Larson, who skates it away for the Devils.
The Oilers spending a lot of time in the Devils' end, but good position. Devils are doing an excellent job of making the Oilers shoot wide.
And it's icing here against Edmonton with under 9 minutes left in the third. The game recap is brought to you by our Tri-Honda dealers. Adam Henrique with his first goal since November 1st, his first even strength goal since October 18th. Ruutu with his 4th of the year. Eric Jelena with 2 assists, and Corey Schneider has made 23 saves thus far. Off the draw, taken here by Zidlitsky. Sharp angle try by Camilleri is blocked off a leg in front and controlled nevertheless by Jagr. Checked by Marincin in the corner. Puck taken away by Jagr. One-time shot by Zajac is blocked away.
That's what the Devils need. Work down low. Good work by Jagr. And keep some pressure in the Devils' end, or the Oilers' end.
Race towards the puck. Schneider! Nearly deflected into his goal by Arcobello. And controlled by Hendricks. Back to the point. That shot blocked away.
And it's an adventure sometimes, isn't it, there?
Here's Ference over the line. Defenseman into the attack. Drops this back for Fane. Collected here by Purcell. Shoots right into the chest protector of Schneider.
Boy, great save by Corey Schneider of Teddy Purcell on the redirected puck right on his stick.
And hammered out of the zone by Zidlitsky. This is an icing call against the Devils with under 8 minutes to play. Corey Schneider perfect thus far.
There you see good speed by Arcobello. Corey Schneider has to come out and play that puck. And he ends up shooting it into Arcobello, but he was right on top of him. This one, Teddy Purcell wide open on the left dot there. And Schneider comes across him. He has looked awfully good in the net tonight. But yes, when he has to go out and play that puck, Steve, it can be an adventure at times, and he continues to work at it.
Pete DeBoer says, if not now, when he utilizes his timeout on the icing call against New Jersey. As the Oilers began to tilt the ice there in the last shift or two, Kenny, in what we can't overstate is an important final 7:51 for New Jersey. Challenging trip, big opponents left. They need the win under their belt tonight.
And this is a desperate Oiler team. Give them credit in the third period. You knew they would come out firing, and they've shot a lot of pucks, and Devils have done a pretty good job in front of Schneider, but he's made some key saves at the right time, and that's what you want from your goaltender. And Corey Schneider so far has given the Devils everything they've asked for tonight, that's for sure.
Nugent Hopkins to take the draw against Zajac. Devils have had a good night in the circle as it's won back by Zidlitsky. At the point, Schultz. And this deflects into the netting. We'll step aside here in period 3 in Edmonton. Devils with the 2-0 lead against the Oilers. Back in Edmonton, Cadillac trivia question. Who holds the Devils record for most shots by a defenseman in his rookie season? We'll mention that David Severson is on pace to be the man if he continues at this pace for the Devils. Now, the answer, I'm told, should be obvious, is it?
Well, it's the guy you see around the rink a lot. Has a lot to do with the alumni working for the New Jersey Devils. It's the great Bruce Driver.
Off the draw, shot by Ferentz is saved by Corey Schneider. Devils have won 59% of the draws leading up to that chance tonight. Taken here by Henrique. That shot is blocked away and deflected out of play. It went off Justin Schultz in the faceoff. Could stay in the zone.
And that's not a bad thing for the Devils. You don't mind seeing a few whistles here, Steve, deflect the pucks in the stands, because you know the Oilers are going to be pressing, and it just slows the pace down a little bit with a 2-0 lead.
Elias steps on Henrique and Havlat, the wingers for Patrick Elias tonight. Off the draw, one back by the Devils again, and Andy Green sends behind the net. Here's Havlat. Crosses up with Elias, worked back to the point. It got by Severson, and the Devils retreat back in their own end. Here's Severson under some pressure from Hendricks, winds it around the boards, and collected at center by Boyd Gordon. Petrie banks it to former Devil Mark Fane in an apartment that will be 10 blocks from the home of the Edmonton Oilers 2 years from now. New facility being built downtown. Worked across here and collected by Severson. Punches it ahead. Giotta trying to get on this. On a backhand, funnels it towards Fost and played into the corner. Zubris on the puck for New Jersey. Draisaitl able to work it ahead and played across here to Taylor Hall. Edmonton needs 2 to tie. Hall, 3 Devils to contend with, and that's broken up as Bernier lifts it away.
And he almost snuck the puck through 3 Devils there. Steve Bernier gets a skate on it.
Icing here against the Devils. We mentioned what will be the Rogers Arena in Edmonton, Alberta. Now, this is the place that has the charm, the memories, but they've been looking forward to this in Edmonton for quite some time. In downtown, hop, skip, and a jump from so many of the office buildings and residences in this beautiful city in Western Canada.
Well, it's booming here out west in Edmonton, and that building looks pretty impressive.
Picked up here by Hall. Will be one of the featured attractions, we assume, 2 years from now. Still loose in the Devil's zone. Adam Larson under pressure. Controlled here by Draisaitl. Checked by Helgeson. Leon Draisaitl lost control of the puck. Now Josephson tries to muscle it out of the zone. Sent back in by the Oilers, and Larson.
Well, smart play by Larson. Doesn't mess around. He blasts that puck out.
Fired in by Draisaitl, and now Schneider behind his net. 25 shots for each side to this point in the game. Devils continue to lead by 2. Arcabello lost his edge. Tried to play it in deep for Yakupov, and now Perron is the man on the puck for Edmonton. Glove down by Josephson. Works it across, and Jacob Josephson does enough to get it back out to the neutral zone.
Well, he was hounded by Perron, and he does a good job of get that puck across the blue line.
Jelena ahead for Jágr, who got a stick on it. Jágr works it across looking for Camilleri, but the pass just a touch behind him. Given away by the Oilers again, and here's Mike Camilleri. Waits for Jágr to get back on side. Now shoots, saved by Foss, who reaches out and covers up. Under 5 minutes to go. Devils continue to lead by 2. That's Mike Camilleri, and tomorrow night on MSG Plus, his Devils take on his former team, the Calgary Flames. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Devils game night, following Islanders post-game coverage. Devils Flames tomorrow night at 10 on MSG Plus. It was as a Calgary Flame that Mike Camilleri produced a career-high 39-goal season back in 2008-2009.
Just under 5 minutes to go to take care of business here in Edmonton.
Off the draw, controlled by the Oilers, and here's Hall. Oilers need to work quickly, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. Here's Jágr at center ice. Everly guided it back toward his own goal and swept aside by Foss to the stick of Marincin. Jordan Everly able to gain the zone. Back in the Devils' end. Now Hall. Dallas Eakins going top heavy. He's got Hall, Eberle, and Nugent Hopkins together again. Marincin at the point. Controlled here by Eberle. Taylor Hall throws it in front, deflected away by Schneider, and picked up here by Travis Zajac.
Ryan's trying to get a change, and Camilleri finally bangs that in the Oilers zone.
Elias lost control of the puck. Devils have maintained their discipline. Schneider's been good. They've blocked 19 shots in front of him to this point in the game. Petrie back in his own end. For Ference. Now Yakupov as the Oilers. Time not on their side. Just over 3.5 to go. Perron tries to send it across. That's deflected off a Devils stick and out of play. 3.5 minutes to go. Devils continue to lead by 2. After the game, get reaction from Coach DeBoer and the Devils players. Highlights and analysis on the Devils post-game show. It's immediately following the action tonight in Edmonton. Face off to the left of Corey Schneider.
The Oilers have already pulled their goaltenders, Steve. A lot of firepower out there. Boyd Gordon, Patrick Elias on the face-off. It's an important draw here with 3:30 left.
Leading to 6 attackers on for Edmonton with 3.5 minutes to go in the third, and one-handed out of the zone by Henrique to get the Devils started. Nugent Hopkins collects and races back into the Devils' end. Ryan Nugent Hopkins played across. Henrique helped break that up. Loose along the near boards. It caroms around for Elias, who shovels this all the way towards the Oilers' net. This will go wide, and it's taken by Schultz.
So close to hitting the empty net with that backhanded shot from Patrick.
Losing his edge, Severson worked across the green. He'll bank it ahead, and Henrique able to collect the puck. Sealed off by Perron and collected here by Taylor Hall instead. Oilers with the netminder pulled. Hall lost control. Havlat with the net empty, lifts it in, and wide of the net.
Devils a great job in the neutral zone. Not letting the Oilers come through. Did it in deep. They missed the net a couple times for the insurance goal.
Severson works at the center ice. Glove down by Petrie, who sends it back in deep. Eamon Severson winds it around the boards all the way back into the Oilers' end. And this is an icing call. 2:19 now left in the third.
Real good work from the Jersey defenders there. The Oilers having a tough time getting through the neutral zone there. You see Marty Havlat missing the opportunity. Patrick ripping him a little bit on the bench there, but it was a rolling puck and he flipped it high, unable to find the cage.
Giunta to take the draw for the Devils, and off the scramble, work back controlled. Schultz with a shot, and that's deflected out of play.
Boy, have the Devils been good at blocking shots. You mentioned previously, Steve, they'd already blocked 19 shots. And that's Steve Bernier, who's been instrumental. He's had a few of these as well and picked up an assist there. Nice block shot. Goes down. Able to deflect that into the stands, into the netting.
Off the draw, controlled by the Oilers. That shot loose at the side of the net and taken here by Purcell. Eddie Purcell under pressure from Green. Jarred loose. Camilleri can't get it out of the zone. Kept in by Taylor Hall and worked down low by Edmonton. Here's Hall manning the point. Plays it in deep to the corner. They funnel it behind. Nugent Hopkins waiting on the opposite side. Taylor Hall for the Oilers. Schultz banks it in deep. Eberle trying to control the loose puck. Perron is there too. Now Nugent Hopkins plays it behind the net. Andy Green got tied up in front. They punch it back to the point. Here's Taylor Hall. His wrist shot goes wide. Oilers stay with it and control. Back to the point. Taken here by Schultz. That pass. Looking for Nugent Hopkins. It popped up high. All pressure here from Edmonton, trying to cut the deficit in half with 1:15 to play. Perron backhand try, and Corey Schneider with another save. Loose behind the net. Nugent Hopkins is on it again. Ryan Nugent Hopkins plays it across, broken up by the stick of Zidlitsky. Still loose. Yager controls, and he'll work it ahead. Devils ice the puck as he was passing in the direction of Camilleri.
Well, Oilers buzzing. Jaromir Jagr shaking his head. He He had an open Camilleri, but he shot that puck too hard. Ends up going for icing, and you know, he had an open lane there, Steve, and frustrated with himself that even if they did not have the opportunity to go for the empty net, at least it would have been in the neutral zone, but he rifled that too hard.
Zajac and Boyd Gordon on the draw on the Devils' end. Yakupov sends it to the side of the net. Draisaitl tried to get a shot away. It's loose at the side of the net. Taken here by Camilleri. Oilers thought they had cut the deficit in half. They did not. Now Yakupov on this. Nail Yakupov centering try in front. Denied by Green. Controlled by Hall. And that shot is blocked out of play.
Wow, the line of Zajac, Yager, and Camilleri with Zidlitsky and Green absolutely exhausted out there, but still do a great job of Camilleri deflects it out. Corey Schneider made a huge pad save right on the doorstep. All zone time for the Edmonton Oilers since they pulled their goaltender. The last 2.5, 3 minutes, the Oilers have been primarily in the Devils' hand, but good positioning, good job by the line of Zajac and Green and Zidlitsky on the point. A big save, couple of big saves by Corey Schneider.
Oilers win the draw. Nugent Hopkins tried to play it back for Hall and back into the Edmonton zone with 25 seconds to go. Hall met at center ice. Puck stripped away, worked across by the Oilers, and winds around to the near side. Yakupov trying to get on this. Henrique trying to get it out of the zone. Still loose. 10 seconds to go now. Oilers get it back towards Hall. That try guided away by Larson. 2 seconds and one. Corey Schneider with a 29 save shutout in Edmonton. And the Devils defeat the Oilers 2-0.
That wasn't easy, Steve. The Oilers, all kinds of pressure in the third period, but real good, solid effort and good win for these Devils, especially with the surge in the second period. They did enough to get the victory. Tonight's goal of the game is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Goal of the game is going to be right here. Jelena gets the puck up to Bernier. Finds a streaking Adam Henrique. And he puts it 5-0 on Victor Foss for the game-winning goal. And that's your Nissan goal of the game. Real good execution by the Devils. 2 quick passes. Jelena to Bernier to Adam Henrique. He makes no mistake. He gets Devils on the board in the second period.
And they've split the first 2 on this Western Canadian road trip. Up next, the Flames tomorrow night at 10 on MSG+. Don't go anywhere. The postgame is straight ahead. We'll hear from Corey Schneider, Pete DeBoer, and a lot more in just a moment.